Right now, Kentuckiana continues to face a drought following a dry spell, but could that change with the rain we're starting to get today? And thanks for joining us at 5. I'm Connie Leonard.
And I'm Doug Proffitt. Connie, the green never looks so good
around
right?
Here. We need it.
We have seen a lot of dry ground around there, and our chief meteorologist, Ben Pine, is tracking the rainfall. So, Ben, is this the soaker that we need in Kentuckiana right now?
Yeah, for sure. Connie and Doug, this could be the beginning of the end of the drought situation, as we have a lot of rain chances throughout this weekend into this weekend, and we're getting a pretty good soaking rain in some areas as well. Now, the northern half of the area, that rain is lightening up, but we're seeing some heavier downpours developing off to the south. You can see that down creeping into Hart County, around Greene and Taylor counties, and Campbellsville off to the south of Louisville. So about 50-60 miles off to the south of Louisville is where we have some strong thunderstorms. No warnings at this time. We did have a severe thunderstorm warning there in LaRue County and northern portions of Greene and Taylor counties about 15 minutes ago. There you see the rain much lighter, just some sprinkles left over in Louisville right now. The heaviest downpours, as you can see here, with some lightning strikes in southern Marion County, south of Lebanon to around Campbellsville to Greensburg. This is tracking east at about 25 miles per hour, then much drier out to the west. So this activity that we'll have to the south, Futurecast picking up on that very well, and then scooting it off to the east here as we head towards sunset. So we'll have some dry time for tonight. Can't rule out a couple showers though, but notice tomorrow morning we're back to the next wave of wet weather. So another weather impact alert day for our Tuesday. Morning and afternoon showers and thunderstorms possible. The severe weather threat thankfully will be low for tomorrow, but with that chance of showers and thunderstorms, keep the rain gear handy and get that WHAS11 app with that interactive radar ready to go. Again, we've got many more rain chances on the way to show you coming up in our full weather impact team forecast coming up.
Sounds great. Thank you so much, Ben. Our meteorologist will continue to monitor the weather for any changes, and we want to make sure that you're informed of the latest. To do that, make sure that you download our WHAS11 News app. Well, farmers across Kentuckiana say they need a good, heavy rainfall to help those thirsty crops.
Finally, we may be seeing it with drought conditions impacting the country. Will it affect what you see at your local produce market? Our Jose Alonso visited 2 locations around Louisville to find out.
When you walk through the front door of the Garden Gate Fruit Market on Bardstown Road, you'll see an abundance of colorful produce. But owner Dan Steinmetz says the moderate drought conditions are a cause for concern.
Oh, well, it's detrimental if they're trying to maintain a large crop of stuff. They've got to have some rain if they don't have any way of watering it. It hasn't quite affected all the crops yet. The corn kind of ended a little bit early. There's some late watermelon and late tomato that'll go till frost.
He's not too stressed about his sales right now. That's because he sources his produce from Amish farmers in southern Kentucky, and they have their own irrigation system. Dale told me that most pumpkin crop rely on irrigation systems, but they still need rain throughout the summer before it hits the table. But depending on how much water it gets can determine a pumpkin's size or even its color. Irrigation systems are also used for organic produce at Ashbourne Farms, who supply Haymarket on River Road, which keeps the store showing no signs of low quantity or low quality. In Louisville, Jose Alonso, WHAS11 on your side.
Ashbourne Farms did say they have acres of crops that do solely rely on rainwater to grow. Regardless of how the next harvest turns out, Haymarket says they don't plan to increase any prices in the near future. That's some good news there.
And it might surprise you that on a day we see rain, a level 1 drought is declared in every single Kentucky county. The state says that we can see serious impacts on our agriculture and wildfire dangers with all of this.
Right now, Louisville Metro Police are investigating after finding a man dead at Petersburg Park off Newburgh Road.
It was a call that came in from a passerby saying that they located or saw a subject in the wooded area that was unresponsive. So the call came in as a person down.
Now, officers aren't saying yet what kind of injuries that man had, but called them traumatic. He was found around 11:30 this morning by a passerby. Officers don't have any suspects yet, but are investigating this as a homicide. If you know anything that could help police, you're asked to call them at 574 LMPD.
More of the top stories we're following here on this Monday. The U.S. Department of Justice has appealed a judge's recent decision to dismiss the felony charges against two former police officers involved in the Breonna Taylor case. Judge Charles Simpson in Louisville ruled August 22nd that former LMPD officers Joshua Janes and Kyle Meany shouldn't be charged with directly killing Breonna Taylor. Simpson ruled that drafting and approving a false warrant didn't directly show an intent to kill her that day. Now their misdemeanor charges are all that remain. The Department of Justice has asked the Court of Appeals to review their argument that knowing armed officers would carry out a false warrant did lead to her death. 210,000 people. Wow. That's how many people attended Part 1. We're talking about Bourbon and Beyond this past weekend, which just wrapped up. And again, it was a 4-day event. Yeah, the pictures were incredible of the crowds there. About half of that number were there Saturday alone. Many of those folks at the fairgrounds for major performers like headliner Zach Bryan and Young the Giant. That number alone is just half the total 120,000 attendees recorded at last year's music festival. And it already exceeds the 110,000 visitors that Louisville tourism predicted this year. Other artists that drew in large crowds included Sting, of course, Dave Matthews Band, and Kentucky's own Tyler Childers, who performed last night. Well, Bourbon and Beyond may be over, but that doesn't mean the party is finished for Louisville. It's hotels and other businesses. It's a long stretch. This weekend, America's loudest rock festival, Louder Than Life, is going to be right back at the fairgrounds. Of course, they rename it the Highland Festival Grounds for this event at the Kentucky Expo Center. Nearly 150 musical acts will take the stage this weekend, including one making a triumphant return. 3 years ago, while performing on stage at Louder Than Life, Judas Priest guitarist Richie Faulkner suffered a cardiac aortic dissection. Now, that's a separation of the aorta into two areas of blood flow, which can cause a number of complications. He was then rushed downtown to Louisville's University Hospital and underwent a more than 10-hour surgery to replace an aortic valve. He survived, and he is still playing music. This week, Faulkner and Judas Priest are returning to Louisville for the first time since that medical incident.
If anything, it's like it's a celebration for me more than anything. You know, what went down that night, and to come back and play the same festival 3 years later, as we know, you know, it depends on who you talk to. I shouldn't be able to do that. I was lucky to even get through the night and carry on, you know. So to come back and play the festival 3 years later, it feels like a bit of a triumph, really, to kind of complete the festival, complete the gig as I was meant to do it the first time.
And we say a big welcome back to Louisville. He looks great. Judas Priest takes the stage this Sunday. And they're included in 150 musical acts that will be taking the stage this weekend at Louder Than Life. In the festival's 10th year, headliners include Slipknot, The Offspring, Seether, and Bad Flower. It's the same venue, again, as Bourbon and Beyond, so expect some traffic near the fairgrounds.
The access point for that extra higher education opportunity. And so I think students naturally are taking advantage of that.
That's JCTC President Ty Handy talking about the influx of Hispanic students. Currently, close to 14% of his students are Hispanic or Latino. Our Moments That Matter series is celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month, and right here in Louisville and Jefferson Community and Technical College says their Hispanic student population has grown rapidly in the last decade. Our Gabriel Gonzalez is talking with the president about the growth and what it means to all the students who attend the college.
The numbers don't lie. Jefferson Community and Technical College is seeing a 47% increase in Hispanic students since the fall of 2020. I spoke with the college president to ask how do they build off of that momentum.
If we want all of Louisville to thrive, we need all of the communities to thrive.
Jefferson Community and Technical College President Ty Handy knows why community is important. Now, with over 1,700 Hispanic students, a new era is settling in.
10 years ago, that was only 5% of our student population.
He attributes much of that growth to Louisville's Cuban population. The metro is in the top 10 for most Cuban immigrants in the U.S., according to the New York Times. Handy says the college is an access point for immigrants who want to start their educational journey.
And they're such good students across the board that their average GPAs are actually higher than our overall GPA for our student body.
He says a barrier for any student can be financial aid, specifically those just arriving in the U.S. But thanks to an array of options like the Evolve 502 program for JCPS students and the Work Ready Scholarship, everyone has a fair chance.
So we want to make sure we're structured in a way to break down their barriers to success and give them every opportunity to focus on their education, because we know they can get that credential, they're going to get a great job.
According to the Pew Research Center, currently Hispanics are the largest ethnic minority group, making up 19% of the U.S. population, roughly 62 million people. Meanwhile, their economic impact even bigger, contributing $2.8 trillion to the U.S. GDP, according to a new study. In Louisville, Gabriel Gonzalez, WHAS11, on your side.
Well, the growth continues outside the classroom with a $100 million project, which includes a new science building and a new parking structure. That project is expected to be complete in the fall of 2025. And for a list of those scholarships, you can check out this story on our website, WHAS11.com.
The last honor flight of the Bluegrass of the season is going to be taking off tomorrow here in Louisville. Tomorrow morning, veterans from as far as Oregon are going to be joining the local crews to head off to Washington, D.C. 2 World War II veterans, 16 Korean vets, and 66 Vietnam veterans are heading out from Louisville tomorrow. They'll get the full tour in Washington of the monuments built for them. Then after a very long day, it's the welcome home they deserve. Also, such a great sight, as you see from our previous coverage here. The part of the trip many of the veterans look forward to the most.
So we have such a great, diverse group of veterans on this flight. We have 3 World War II, 15 Korean, and 66 Vietnam veterans. And so we are really excited about tomorrow.
Well, again, the welcome home's tomorrow night at the airport, and it's tomorrow night at about 9:30. Show up there, and you can expect the vets to walk through as they get off the flight at 10 p.m. to such a hero's welcome home.